Hey everyone, this is Caroline from Shmoo Goes Vegan. I got COVID probably 5 days ago, and that's why I sound like I do. And I am grateful, not for getting COVID, but for when I got COVID. Stick around for the whole story. Hi everyone, I have COVID, and it has not been a fun couple of days. Here's the story. It's gonna go back to Christmas time, and my son and I went and visited some relatives at some holiday parties, and we knew that we had this upcoming trip to Key West. And the reason I even bothered to go to these holiday parties, because I typically avoid things where, events where there's crowds or lots of people in enclosed places, especially when there's things swirling around, a lot of flus, RSV, COVID's on the rise again with all these new strains. But I looked at it this way. I'm like, well, in the event that we, were to get something, we would have 3 weeks to let it run its course, recover, and in the event it was COVID, we would be COVID negative by the time it was time to leave for the trip. Well, excuse me, we were fortunate enough that we didn't contract anything, nor did anybody at those parties, thank goodness. And we went, we had a great time, we came back. We were actually very careful in Florida. We wore our mask on the plane and in the airports. This is what we did to make sure that we avoided it. This is just me, doesn't mean that anybody else has to do it. We were outside, we avoided crowds, and maybe it paid off. And so everything was great. And the second day I was home, I inadvertently was exposed to somebody who had COVID, who didn't know that they had COVID, who actually tested later the day that I saw them, and it was a negative result. So I thought, well, if they weren't feeling well, whatever it is, at least it's not COVID. 2 days later, I was told that this person did have COVID, and lo and behold, 2 days later, I got COVID. Like, I was probably positive by then, but it wasn't until my second day of fevers that I tested positive for COVID. And it was, they're calling it the Kraken. I can't compare it to any other strains because I've never had it before. But I can tell you that it was fevers, really bad headache, super blocked sinuses, and my throat was a little scratchy, not too bad. I didn't have a cough until the fevers actually wore off, which was 2 days. My highest fever was 101. I did take Motrin and Tylenol. That seemed to help a lot. I drank a lot of echinacea tea. I had plenty of food at home, so I didn't have to worry about it. But the reason why I'm really grateful for when I got it was because I was home. Because today I was supposed to be leaving for a work event that was going to be including a lot of people from all over the world, all over the US. And I would have hated, first of all, to expose these people, but also to be stuck in a hotel room, sick and far from home. I know there are a lot of people that this has happened to because COVID has an incubation times, and a lot of people don't even know that they have it. And even the people that end up being exposed to it didn't realize they're exposed to it because, again, the other people that have it, the COVID tests just aren't turning positive immediately. So it's really hard to tell. And like I said before, I've been making my travel plans based on when I'm around people. And this person that I was around really wasn't sick when I saw them. So it's really hard to judge. But I'm grateful that at least I was home. Like anybody, when you're sick, you don't want to be sick, but at least when you're home, it's better than being away. So stay safe, be careful, and make sure that you have plenty of Tylenol and Motrin or whatever you use for fever relief. The other thing I can recommend is I had some healing ointment. As you can see, I have a lot of redness under my nose. I use a lot of tissues. Get tissues with lotion if you can. And I can't say enough about echinacea tea from Celestial Seasonings with zinc and vitamin C. Anyway, peace everybody. Hope you're healthy, and I'll be checking in with you at another time. Bye-bye.